Do you know that there is a lazy man's way to be more disciplined? In fact, if you are using this type of discipline, it is going to be effortless. You are going to achieve your goals and make the right actions automatic. My name is Craig Ballantyne. I'm the host of Early to Rise Radio, and today I want to start by sharing one of my favorite quotes. To get something you've never had, you must do something you've never done. And so if you are white knuckling your way through life, if you are disciplined, grinding discipline, and you're suffering, I want you to stop that. And I want you to take advantage of the effortless discipline systems that I'm going to teach you. Now, I got to use a word of warning here. This is going to ruffle a lot of feathers because there are people who are in these discipline challenges, who are working out twice a day, who are cold plunging, who are going to hate my message. In fact, I've been doing the book tour for my new book, The Dark Side of Discipline. And the two best podcasts that I've done have been with women, both women, who absolutely love hardcore discipline. And they were like, when I opened this book, I had so much rage towards it. But as I went on, I started to see your side. And so you're going to see my side very quickly. But I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I did with discipline. You don't have to be hardcore discipline. In fact, the lazy man's guide to discipline is a much better approach. So that's what you're going to learn today is you're going to learn how to master time and use my 3 effortless systems to 10x your discipline. Now, I want to introduce you to a lazy person, and that is Craig Ballantyne back when I was in my 20s. I wanted to sleep in all the time. I wanted to skip my workouts. I wanted to eat chocolate cake for breakfast. I wanted to watch football all day Saturday, college football on Saturday, and then pro football on Sunday. I just, wasn't a productive person. But while I wanted to do those things, I also knew deep in my heart that I wanted to achieve great things. I wanted to write books. I wanted to build a business. I wanted to give my family, my future family, financial freedom. And so I thought, all right, so if I'm this lazy guy, how can I be more disciplined? Or how can I get stuff done is probably the more detailed question that I asked. And I realized, if I set up some systems, it's kind of like a Rube Goldberg machine. If you know what a Rube Goldberg machine is, a Rube Goldberg machine, a real famous example of this is from the Goonies. And so the Goonies, remember the kid knocks on the gate and they pull a lever and then, this ball goes down and then it drops and it lands on a rooster or a chicken. And if it's a chicken, it lays an egg, or if it's a rooster, it crows. And then something else happens, and like 19 different things that eventually open the gate. And that's a Rube Goldberg machine. It's like you see it all the time in movies. And, that's a system that does something. And I wanted to build something like that, some sort of, setup that forced me to be productive, even though I didn't want to. So it did the work for me. And that's how I created my effortless discipline systems. Now, the effortless discipline systems also allowed me to quit binge drinking. They allowed me to overcome my introverted tendencies and become more high energy when I was a speaker on stage, but also in conversation. It helped me quit binge video gaming. So I used to play a lot of video games, but it helped me kick it to the curb. It helped me be more productive when my phone became a issue in my life, and it helped me overcome anxiety. But it can also help you overcome pornography. It can help you overcome binge eating. It can help you start an exercise program. The effortless discipline systems, 1, 2, 3 things. That's it. Not a million things, just 1, 2, 3 things. EPC formula are really going to help you change your life. Now, to get something you've never had, you must do something you've never done. We've said that before. Because what got you here won't get you there. So that first quote, I don't know where it came, who said it first, but I got it from this actor named Jeremy Piven. He was in Entourage, and he posted it on Twitter like 15 years ago. That was the first time I ever saw it. If you want something you've never had, you must do something you've never done. Great. And so if you are going hardcore on discipline and not getting your results, I want you to use the lazy man's guide to discipline, and you will get results. Because what got you here won't get you there. If you've been hustling and grinding to get to this point, and now you've hit this ceiling and you're not making any progress, well, it's time for you to try something different, because what got you here was good enough, but it's not going to get you to the next level. And it's the same with the dark side of discipline. Discipline was my savior at first, as it helped me overcome the binge drinking. But then I took it too far. And there's a great quote from Naval Ravikant who says, before you can write the book, you must live the book. And I lived the dark side of discipline. I worked out 1,000 days in a row. I went to bed before 8 p.m., probably 1,000 days in a row as well. Got up at 3:57 a.m. every single day. And I did miss out on a few things that I regret. And it also, this rigidity of discipline put me in a prison where I was doing good things. Don't get me wrong, exercising is good. Going to bed early and getting up on time is good. But I let the good get in the way of the great. Now, fortunately, I ended up with the greatest of all, because the good things like the discipline stuff that I went too far with stopped me from going out and finding the love of my life. Now, fortunately, everything worked out that I met Michelle, and I don't think I would have met her any earlier. So I met her late in life and, got married and had kids late in life, and I found the best one. But, I should have have been doing different things with some aspects of my life. And I just took it too far, put myself in a prison of my own design. And I see that happening all the time. That's why I wrote the book. I know a lot of people who want to write books because I'm an author, brings out all the wannabe authors who say, I want to write a book too. I've always wanted to write a book. And I say, great, how's it going? I don't have time to do it. And I see them a year from now. How's the book going? I haven't had time to do it, because they let the good get in the way of the great. The book is the great, but they're doing a million good things. They're cold plunging. They're doing infrared sauna. They're doing 2 workouts a day. They're reading a book a week, but not writing a book a year. And all those things are good. It's not like they're sitting at home drinking a 6-pack of beer, eating chips, and watching Netflix till 2 a.m. That's bad stuff getting in the way of the great. But they're doing good things, but it's getting in the way of the great. And then it can actually be destructive. So I've had friends whose marriages have fallen apart because they were so obsessed with discipline challenges and so obsessed with their business that they didn't have any time for their wife and kids. It's insane. It's insane to think, like, with our outside eyes, you would look at somebody and go, why are they doing this? And when I see very successful people who are already, in good shape and rich going and doing these discipline challenges, I'm like, what are you doing? Who are you trying to impress? You already have everything you want in life, and you don't need validation from strangers. So if you're struggling with your time and not getting the results, that hardcore grinding approach is not going to get you the results. So you need more time. You need more focus. You need more discipline, but discipline is not what you think. It's not this. This is entertainment. My wife and I go out for cold plunges as dates. Okay, we go to these places in Vancouver. You go and you do a sauna, and then you go to a cold plunge, and then you do sauna and cold plunge, back and forth. And I sat in the 1 degree, which would be like 35 Fahrenheit, 1 degree Celsius tub for over 3 minutes, because that's what the hardcore guys do. And I'm like, yeah, my legs are like falling asleep because they're so cold, but I can do it. And I'm not that disciplined. It's just like, hey, just go sit in cold water. Okay, don't think. Read Tim Grover's book, Relentless, and take away from this lesson, don't think. And you can do all these disciplined magic tricks. That's all they are. They're like parlor tricks. Sitting in a cold plunge, blah, blah, blah. Anybody can do that sort of stuff. You don't actually have to be disciplined. It is just a trick. So the other thing I'll say about discipline is that it's not transferable. So just because you can sit in a cold plunge doesn't necessarily mean that you can go and have difficult conversations with your business partner, your romantic partner, or the people that work for you. It's not transferable. It's not like, oh, well, I did cold plunging, so now, I'm going to stop avoiding those difficult conversations. No, I know lots of people who do these cold plunging things, and they're too afraid to have a difficult conversation with somebody. It just doesn't transfer. The extreme example I use in the book is Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods was the world's most feared golfer in 2005, 6, and 7. He was 12 hours on the range. He's the most disciplined golfer in the world. I forget which, pro said that, but, one of them said that. All right, so he's super disciplined. So that means he must be disciplined in every area of his life, right? He was going to the gym. People thought he was on steroids, and he cheated on his wife with like 35 mediocre, waitresses or whatever, right? It's the most undisciplined thing you could possibly do. But here, he was the world's most disciplined, and he was also the world's most undisciplined. It is not a transferable trait. And so if you think that working out twice a day is going to make you very disciplined at sales and marketing, it's not how it works. I'm sorry. And you're just wasting your time through these perverse forms of procrastination and really just entertainment. Okay. You just want to post on social media. Let's be honest. And you actually working, a video of that is not going to get a whole bunch of likes on social media, but you going into a frozen lake will. So the true definition of discipline, after I've just told discipline it sucks, the true definition of discipline is this. Very simple. It's putting a level 10 effort into your level 10 problem. And I should show you all the screenshots. People that have made it through chapter 1. So we wrote the book sneaky. We wrote the book so that the most important stuff is in chapter 1, because we know that people don't have the discipline to read a full book. So we wanted to make sure that they got the biggest thing out of it. And sure enough, they're reading chapter 1, screenshotting and saying it's a game changer. A guy named Keith Yackey, very famous pastor, very famous Instagram person. He posted just today, hey man, chapter 1, game changer. And then another guy, Will Breckford, who's a personal trainer, he posted, hey, chapter 1, game changer. And everybody's doing exactly what I hoped they were doing. And so if you haven't read The Dark Side of Discipline, go to Amazon. It's 99 cents on Kindle right now. Might not be when you hear this. It's 99 cents as an audiobook. It's $15 as a paperback. And it's about a 2-hour read, and it's a game changer for you. So putting a level 10 effort in your level 10 problem, what exactly does that mean? Well, take a piece of paper, unless you're driving, take a piece of paper and close your eyes. Again, if you're driving, don't do this. But take a piece of paper, close your eyes and think, what's keeping me up at night with anxiety? When I wake up in the morning on a bad day, what am I thinking about? Oh yeah, that person, that conversation that I haven't had yet. Or, our marriage is kind of cold right now. It's 15-year marriage, and our kids are 10 and 12. 12 and we're really just Uber drivers that live in the same house and our marriage has gone cold. That's a big problem. Okay. Now, after you've written that down on a piece of paper, beside that, write down what level of effort are you giving it on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of improving your marriage. Well, you're probably giving it a level 3, right? You're too busy Uber driving your children around to sporting events. You're too busy with work. You're too stressed out by financials and, working out twice a day, And so like, where's the time to work on my marriage? And yeah, it's only the most important thing in my life, but I don't have time to work on it. It's like, I used to coach I still coach a lot of faith-based entrepreneurs. And I would have so many faith-based entrepreneurs who are like, man, I just can't find time for 5 minutes to read the Bible every day. Like, how backwards is that? You're a faith-based entrepreneur and you don't even have 5 minutes to read the Bible? Like, your planning and preparation is so whacked. And so, that was one of the first things I would help somebody with, because that's like a level 10 for a Christian. Level 10 problem or level 10 opportunity is reading the Bible. And so you should make time for that. But people are putting a zero effort into it. And humans are funny, right? We all have these level 10 problems, whether it's your marriage, your health, your finances, your debt, your financial future, switching from active income to passive income, starting a side hustle, fixing the business partner breakdown that you have, or that cancerous employee that you have that you need to get rid of, but you've, let stay on for, a year and a half too long. Everybody's got a level 10 problem. Everybody's got multiple level 9s, level 8s. Like when you finish the level 10, another one becomes the level 10, but you can get rid of them if you put a level 10 effort into it. So you've got the level 10 problem, what your effort is. If it's below an 8, you need to hit like the action button. You need to really get serious here. And then beside that, here's the magic. Write down what it would look like to put a level 10 effort into your level 10 problem. So let's say it's your marriage, right? Your marriage is cold. It's not broken. It's just like your roommates. You've gone from, hot and bothered newlyweds, to very busy new parents, and then you're Uber drivers now. And the marriage is cold and you don't get a lot of date nights and you don't get a lot of time to yourselves. And, you love your kids. So you can't give them up. Obviously you can't give them up, but you can't give up driving is what I meant. And so what would it look like to put a level 10 effort into your marriage? Well, you'd make time for weekly dates. You'd make time for once a month. As my business partner and co-author Daniel Woodrum, they go away once a month overnight. And, they're fortunate they got family to take care of the kids and they go away once a month. And they think that's better than date night per week. It might be. So you got those 2 things. You'd read the 5 love languages with your spouse and you'd apply it. Take it serious because I know you might think that's a cheesy book, but it's a game changer. Truly is. 5 love languages. If you haven't read it, get it. Use it, buy it, and you'll start to see changes. Now, what else? Well, let's see, buying flowers and, cooking dinner for your partner, making life easier for your partner, taking an interest in your partner's interests. So, coming up with these, because just on the weekend, I posted on my Instagram, if you've been married for more than 20 years, tell me your secret. Not your secrets, but your best tips. And, praying together, not going to bed angry, which I believe I've lived that one from day one. And I think it's very valuable, even though it does lead to, some nights where you're up a little bit longer than you want to be. And having the date nights and being interested in your partner's interests was another one. One guy said, you can either be right or you can be married. Which one do you want? And I mean, that one hit home. You can be right or you can be married. So, there's no point in being right all the time. And it's just like, what does it look like, okay, well, if that's the case, like, I'm not going to argue about silly things. Don't be condescending and just list it out. And now you that's the roadmap right there. That's what I need to do if I want to put a level 10 effort in my level 10 problem. Now, the reason why people don't put a level 10 effort in their level 10 problems is because even if you did all those things, it's not going to be an overnight sensation. It's probably going to take 3 months, 6 months before you start to see some turning around. It's like turning around a big ship, turning around a huge ocean liner takes a long time compared to turning around a little dinghy. But a dinghy is like a level 1 problem and you put a little level 3 effort into it. Like, hey, I'm going to go and start a YouTube channel. Like, you can go and start a YouTube channel in a day, put a video up and you're like, yay, me. And that's, the dopamine hit that we're all searching for. But with a level 10 problem, you don't get a dopamine hit on day 1. You don't get a dopamine hit on day 17. It takes a while. It takes a while for you to see results. And so it takes a lot of work to not see a lot of results for a long time. But it's your level 10 problem. Like, this is your responsibility. Your duty is to attack this level 10 problem. So that's the ultimate definition of discipline. Now, if you want to do great things, you have to do fewer things. One of the problems I talk about in the book and that I talk about in almost all the podcasts I go on is people ask me, what's one of the biggest mistakes that entrepreneurs make or that people make? And it is not saying no enough. We say yes to too many things. We say yes to the good, right? Like, hey, come on my podcast, come on my YouTube channel, come to my event, let's meet for coffee. Hey, let's do a networking call. Like, those are all good, but think about all the things that stops you from doing your workout. And that's why you're 60 pounds overweight. Stops you from writing your book, stops you from starting your side hustle. And then there's all the bad things, right? Netflix, the alcohol, I got to go and watch every sport game on. Like right now, March Madness is on. It won't be when you watch this video, but it's like, really? I was just talking to a guy who's like 49 years old, like my age, and he's like still doing that thing where you fill out the bracket. Like, give me a break. Move on, right? They're children. You're watching children who are not yours play basketball. Why? So all those little things add up to stealing your time, and you're not able to do the great things in your life. So if you want to do great things, you have to do fewer things. You have to have the discipline to say no. The two greatest disciplines in my book are thinking and saying no. You have to do the thinking to get the right orientation. Otherwise, you can have the effortless discipline systems, but if you apply them to the wrong orientation, it won't help. And what I mean by that is orientation. Like imagine you and I are in LA and we both want to go to New York City and you go west. It doesn't matter if you're driving a Lamborghini, you go west. If I'm driving like a Corolla, I'm going to beat you if I go east. So make sure you have the right orientation, because if you have the wrong orientation about discipline, like if you believe discipline is doing hard things and doing a lot of hard things, that's going to mess up your life. You think you're going to be discipline, but it's actually going to destroy you. And if you mess up your orientation around your identity, like, oh, I'm a hardcore disciplined person, how does that serve you? And if it's like, well, then you're going to see somebody who's more hardcore than you, and you're going to like, oh, now I got to do more hardcore stuff than them. And it's like, it used to be running a marathon was pretty impressive. Now, like if you run a marathon and you tell somebody, they go like, I run ultras, dude. Like, ugh. Get away from me. And then the ultra person goes, yeah, I run ultras. And then the person who runs the Badwater, which is like some 100-mile run in the desert, goes, do you even Badwater, bro? And it's just like this peeing contest that becomes ridiculous. And so that's because they have the wrong identity. So you have to think about what you really want and build the right identity. And then you use the effortless discipline systems to make everything more effective. So we're talking about being productive here and using the effortless discipline systems. And it goes EPC, elimination, preparation, connection. The systems are simple. And again, I'm going to use them, apply them to productivity first, but you can apply them to everything from drinking to stopping pornography, to stopping binge eating, to starting exercise, to starting, reading the Bible, to whatever it is that you want to do or you want to stop. The effortless discipline systems will help. So in terms of actual productivity, elimination means controlling your phone. So what you should do right now, open up your phone, unless you're driving. If you're driving a Tesla, you might be able to. I don't know. I don't know what Teslas can do these days. Although, of course, if you drive Tesla, you might be a bad person, according to the people that spray bomb them. So anyways, you open up your phone and you go to a thing called screen time. And in screen time, you identify how much time per day you are spending on your phone. So you'll probably find yourself at about 4 hours. We've had so many of our coaching clients do this, and 4 hours is like the average. So you're probably going to be on your phone around 4 hours, and you need to get that down to 90 minutes per day. So how do you do this? Well, you eliminate access to the phone for your quality hours. So when you should be working on quality projects, you make sure that you use the Opal app that blocks you from going on your YouTube, your email, your social media, your text, and answering phone calls. So you really can't use this thing at all. And if you can't use this thing, then that means you won't add to your screen time. You'll have less screen time and you'll be more productive. The Opal app is a game changer. Now, what we want to do with elimination of any bad habit is we want to make the bad habit as hard as possible to do. We want to put up friction. If you had an M&M addiction, you'd get the M&Ms out of your house. If they had to be in the house, you would put them in what's called an opaque container. An opaque container means you can't see through it. And you put it in a high cupboard at the back, because now it's like, man, I want an M&M, but I'm not going to go get a ladder, go get them, right? They may as well not be there. But if they were right beside you in a bowl, you would eat a lot of them. So you have to eliminate them from being right beside you. When I was a binge drinker, I eliminated alcohol from my house. I eliminated myself from boozy environments. So no sports games on Saturday afternoon at like Blue Jay games when I lived in Toronto, and also no going to bars. And then I eliminated toxic people that wanted to drag me down into drinking. So that just made it a whole lot easier for me to avoid the bad habit. On the flip side, if you want to be more productive, you have to do planning and preparation. So you have to prepare to get to bed on time every night. You set the reverse alarm on your phone, you shut down all your electronics, you start to read a book, and the next thing you know, you fall asleep on time. If you fall asleep on time, you get up on time. You get up on time, you're well rested, you're going to be more productive. That's the lazy man's guide. Just one single alarm on your phone, automatically you turn everything off. And now you're left with only the right actions pretty much. You can't access your phone, your TV, your laptop. Most of your temptations are gone. So you can get to bed on time. And it's simple things like that. Again, do I have to be hardcore discipline? All I have to do is turn my phone off. And then once the phone is off, I don't have to white knuckle my way through life. I can just go to bed. So that planning and preparation is key. And then, if you haven't already, get my Perfect Week Formula book. Go to craigvalentine.com/free books and go through all the systems in there that will make you more productive. Perfect Week Formula is probably the most impactful book on time management that I've ever written. So we've done the elimination. We make things harder. We've done the preparation. We make the good easier to do. That's what you want to focus on. Elimination of the bad habit, put all the friction in the way, and then preparation to make the good habit easier to do. For example, if you want to take up exercising in the morning and you're not an exercisey type of person, best thing to do is set out your exercise clothes beside the bed, print out your workout, have your shoes there, so that when you wake up, it's like, oh, there are the exercise clothes. I'll just put them on. I'll just start looking at the workout videos and I'll start doing a little bit. And the next thing you know, it's almost automatic. The third component of the EPC formula is connection. So when you are connected with people who are like-minded and positive people and share your goals, man, this is a game changer in life. Specifically, there's two ways of doing it. One, with a community. So if you have a community there of people and you tell them your goal and you're a person of integrity, you're going to follow through. If you want to make exercise a habit, another good thing for you to do, in addition to setting out your exercise clothes, is to join a Fit Body Bootcamp. And you go to the group and you say, hi, my name's Craig. I want to lose 20 pounds in the next 12 weeks. And I promise to come 3 times per week to this group. And then you take a before photo and you put it up on the wall. And if you're a person of integrity, you've burned the boats. Like your mind is like, now, well, I got to go do this. And there's no other option. It's automatic. It's automatic, and it doesn't require discipline or willpower because you don't want to let people down. It's the same if you have an individual person that you tell your goals to and you say, hey, listen, I want to achieve something. Like Sharran, I want to write a book. For example, I did tell Sharran on January 1st of 2024, and I told all of my coaching clients, I said, I'm going to write this book and have the first draft done by March 16th, 2024. And it was an ugly first draft, but it was done. And then there was a few other things, complicated things in the business that slowed it down. And we finally got it out at the end of February 2025. But I nailed that first goal because I said something to someone I deeply did not want to disappoint. And I wanted to have integrity. I didn't want to be a hypocrite and tell my coaching clients, oh, I'm going to do something and not do it. So if you have accountability to somebody you deeply do not want to disappoint, this will help you move mountains in your life. This can be a coach that you pay for. This can be a mentor who you don't pay for. This can be a friend who you look up to as a big brother or sister. Could be a big brother or sister. And, it's that person like that high school teacher that believed in you and you didn't want to let them down. We've all had these people in our lives and we need more of them and we need to connect with them. And if you can't find an individual, then you need to get connected in communities, because the number one key to getting results in every area of your life forever is to know more good people, tell them what you want to achieve, and then the integrity inside of you will make you do it. Because every year people wake up on January 1st with a goal and they keep it to themselves, but you are the easiest person to disappoint. It's easy for you to disappoint yourself. And so you can say, yeah, I'm going to lose 20 pounds this year, and then do nothing. And you're the only person who knows that. And it's okay and easy for you to repress that shame inside of yourself. But if you get connected with people, you'll move mountains in your life. The worst thing that people can do is be on lonely high performer island. Or, in our coaching program, we say, don't be on lonely entrepreneur island. Because what people do is they get on this boat here and they come to our events, and, our events are amazing. People get pumped up and they have the blueprint, they leave and they go home and they have the instructions on exactly what to do in their business, but they decay in their motivation and energy because they don't hang around any other entrepreneurs in their town. All their family pulls them down. They're well-meaning, but they're like, hey, come on, let's go watch basketball tonight. Let's go drinking. Let's go do this. And, the brother-in-law, like, let's go golfing this week. I work this cushy corporate job and I hate my work, but, so on weekends I go golfing and drinking, and they drag you down. I mean, it's happened to me when I was in Mexico, we were a little bit isolated. So it kind of slowed me down a bit. When I go to visit my mom on the farm where I grew up, there's not a lot of hardcore entrepreneurs there. And so especially if I'm following my introverted tendencies, I don't spend a lot of time with people. The good thing is that when I go to my own events, I hang around people who make me play up a level in life. So don't get stuck on lonely entrepreneur island, because that is the worst thing that you can do for your big goals and dreams. That blows up the systems. If you are on your own, the effortless discipline systems can only work so well against that. Make sure you're around good people. Give yourself an opportunity to have opportunities. My friend Joel Marion said this on stage at one of my events years ago. He said, give yourself an opportunity to have opportunities. By you watching this, that's an opportunity to have opportunities. By you coming to one of my events, you're giving yourself an opportunity to have opportunities. You're giving yourself an opportunity to talk to other people who are going to make you play up a level in life. But if you stay at home, sitting behind the computer and getting sucked back into regular life, man, you're not giving yourself an opportunity to have opportunities, and that's what you need. So here's how you're going to go faster forever in 2025. You're going to light a fire in yourself, motivation. You're going to get true discipline. You're going to grow your circle and go deeper into the community. Get deeper into that positive, like-minded community, and that is a linchpin in the effortless discipline systems to help you change your life. Doesn't matter how lazy you are. I mean, it'll work for me. It'll work for you too. So this is Craig Ballantyne from the Early to Rise radio show. We do have an event coming up very soon. If you want to attend our event, just comment the word mastermind down below and we'll send you more information about the event. Very small events. They're for entrepreneurs, but they are high quality people who will make you play up a level in life. And we'll see you at one soon. Just comment mastermind down below.